Oh my goodness, guys. I love this presentation. I have so much fun. I had fun putting it together last year, and I've been adding resources to it over the last year. So there's some new stuff. And actually, one of these, I'm going to be doing a Sustainable You on one specific tool on July 6th. So I hope that you can join us then. But what I really, really enjoy about citizen science, and they're also kind of making the move to calling it community science, is the fact that it's so much fun and it's so easy to do. But the fact that when you're doing this, you are actually contributing to real science research. And a lot of times, most of the time, that data is available for anyone to do. So if you're a researcher of, any of these topics, this data is out there and you can download it and use it in your own research. So this is fabulous. I love it. I really encourage everyone to be involved. This is going to have some links in it, some videos. So I'm not allowed to share the story map, but I have put everything into a Word document. So if you will, not in the chat, but in the Q&A, put your email address, I will be happy to email you the Word document with all of the links that I'll be showing here. So let's get started. So these are most of, I've got a couple more after this, all of the different types of citizen science project that you can be involved in. It's stuff that you can do outside, and there's even things that you can do from at home, from your couch. So we're going to be talking about science that you can do where you're taking images of clouds, you're measuring the heights of trees, you are identifying where mosquito habitats are, and that is to help epidemiologists determine where outbreaks of mosquito-borne illnesses may happen. You might be tracking bees, the pollinators, taking images of plants and urban wildlife. You can even contribute to magnetic data, the Earth's magnetic data that is used in formulating GPS software. You can track marine debris or litter that can be washed down a stream to a river to the ocean. Air quality, and then the humanitarian mapping is really cool, and that's what we'll be talking about on July 6th. So there is really something for everyone in citizen science. So these are all made by really notable organizations, very high level, iNaturalist, NASA, NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, Earth Day and the U.S. Department of State, NSF, the National Science Foundation, National Geographic, just really, really powerhouses when it comes to making apps and sharing their research. So like I said, I've got some links in here. We're not going to read all 10 principles of citizen science, but it's just about being honest. Don't fake your data. Just be truthful. And a lot of times when the scientists publish the results of their data, a lot of times they will actually give credit to the citizen science. They may not name every single one, but if you are one of the top providers of research, they may even reach out and give you a thank you in their research, in their peer-reviewed papers. So that's kind of cool. I didn't know that until just a couple of months ago. So let's look at the one. This is the one that most of our students are familiar with. It's called iNaturalist. We do something on our campuses here called BioBlitzes, and this is where we go out. We have our students put iNaturalist on their phone, and then they can take photographs of birds, bugs, reptiles, plants, flowers, leaves, anything that they see that is worthy of getting identified. Like if I bring students out to the Mountain View campus and we go to the urban prairie, there's some beautiful wildflowers there, and I don't know what they are. So I would take a picture with iNaturalist, and within a couple of minutes, it would be identified for me. So you can upload this, and it just generates all of this research for scientists. And that way they can monitor declines or advances in biodiversity where the problems are. It's really, really robust. Their website is fabulous. So this is a screenshot I took a few months ago of what was being submitted right then. So these were the top 5 or 6 things that were being submitted around the world. So there's one here from Russia. So all over the place. Yeah, so that's September 20. So it's more than a few months ago. I need to update that. But you can actually click on places and it will show you the things that have been uploaded for that. So it's really cool opportunity to contribute to this enormous database. So if you want the Word document, it has the links to learn more about iNaturalist. And there is even, we're going to see if we can get this to play. So could you guys hear that? I'm looking at I'm monitoring the Q&A on another computer over here, so that's what I'm looking at. So this is from the iNaturalist site, and when I zoomed in, it showed me where this particular animal, there were 17 sightings in this area, and they actually submitted a sound recording of the varied thrush. So I was able to download that off of there. So there's even tutorials because it's really, really a robust app, and there's a teacher guide available. So if you're a teacher or an educator of any kind, you're welcome to download that and then use it as a guide to set up your own BioBlitz. Now Seek is, okay, so I'm experiencing some low bandwidth. So there is a video there. There it is. Okay. So Seek is another app by iNaturalist, but it's not as robust. It is really designed more for younger children to do. So it's just very, very simple, not as robust, but it still contributes that data to the iNaturalist database. But for little kids who want to get involved, it's not overwhelming and it's very, very easy to use. Now, NASA has a program called the GLOBE program, and the app is just a small portion of that. So if you really want to learn more about what this GLOBE program does, you can click on down here on, no, you can't, because I can't share this. Share it in the Word document, the GLOBE Observer, or you can just search for it. But it is the most incredible program that I've ever delved into. It is so, so cool, all the different resources and opportunities to be citizen scientists. But this particular app that I'm going to share with you has 4 components to it. So you can take pictures of clouds, and it has a monitor on it that will tell you exactly when a satellite is overhead. And that is the very best time to take a picture of the cloud, is when a satellite is right over top. Of course, satellites are over us all the time, but it'll tell you right when to snap the picture. You can also take pictures of land cover, and that's buildings, bushes, anything like that. And that helps their their satellites know, do telemetry and topography. And then you can measure the heights of trees, and then that mosquito habitat mapper. So let's look at each of these. So the cloud app, so you're reporting not only the cloud cover, but also the surface conditions that are happening right then. So that, because satellites can't see what's happening on the ground if there's cloud cover, this is your opportunity to say it's raining, it's foggy, it's sleeting, or whatever, and then you are training that satellite to know those things. So it's machine learning. It is really, really cool, all the neat stuff that you can report on. So it's not just taking a picture of a cloud, it's also reporting on things that are happening around you. The land cover one is also really cool, where you're reporting on surface conditions. Are there leaves on the trees where you are? Is it grassland? Is it snow? Is it rocky? Are you on a beach? Are there shrubs there? All of these things, and how much you see of each of these things, so that it is also doing the machine learning. So the land cover is really cool also. And this is an image because you're measuring the land cover, so it's also, you're taking pictures of buildings. This is the land cover map from the NLCD. I forget what that stands for, but it is one of the layers in ArcGIS that we do when we're doing urban studies and mapping watersheds and things like that. This is the DFW area. So we're helping map where these red areas are. And in this map, you can see that the darker red areas are the most concrete, the most buildings. Then you can see where the farmland is, the grassland, where the trees are, lakes, streams, rivers. So that's helping with that. And I just lost it. Hold on. There we go. Okay. And then the tree app, you're measuring the heights of trees. So it's telling you what to do. You find a tree, you take a picture of it, you count the number of steps to get to the tree, you take another picture, and then the telemetry of it can measure the height of that tree. And then this is just another part of that map that shows where the tree cover is in the DFW region. There was a community tree challenge that was done through this app April and May. So be ready to be prepared to get your students involved in doing that, or your scouts or your church group, or just you individually next year about that same time. And then this is the one I was telling you about, where they can, epidemiologists can use this information to find out when the next outbreak of a mosquito-borne illness is going to be, or a mosquito-borne disease. So you can map where these mosquitoes are. And then as you get better at it, they will also train you how to determine the breed of the mosquito that you are seeing. I'm not that good yet. I'm still just identifying where these, where the water is, where the breeding grounds are, but I'm working my way toward that. And then this actually is the data. So I have a link for you in that Word document of the data that you can download for the mosquito habitats. And then this is the visualization that is available for the GLOBE program. and it looks like my bandwidth is not going to allow me to get in here, but you can choose what you want to see. See if this will.
Lori, can I add a comment here?
Yeah.
I apologize to everyone with the audio issues with the clips. It is due to a bandwidth issue, so some of these may not be audibly transmitted to your end because I couldn't hear them either. So I just apologize for the inconvenience.
So people can't hear me?
Oh, they can hear you. It's just the clips that are being played from the site that are
I just played one.
Right.
I don't think I've shown any. And yeah, none of the video is running with audio.
Right.
So you're not missing anything. But if you get the Word document, it has links to all of the videos. So, but yeah, the bandwidth is not going to let me play with this too much. But I did want to show you some of the things that you can visualize in this. This is all the research that people have contributed through the apps. You can visualize this. So it is just really incredible stuff. There is also a Globe training program. They used to do it in person. Of course, last year they had to go online. So they launched it in September of last year. So there are courses that you can take online to become a Globe teacher. So that was some really, really neat stuff. And they even developed resources for families who were teaching from home, as so many parents were last year. So I don't see any of these things going away. I think that being virtual is just going to be part of our lives going forward, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sure, we'll save a lot of money on travel. So going to conferences and things. So there's a lot of really, really neat resources that you can get through the Globe program. So now this is the one that surprised me the most, because I had never heard of collecting data about the Earth's magnetic field. All you have to do is turn on the app and just go about your business as you're going out for a day. If you're going to be riding your bike, going for a walk, going shopping, you're on vacation and you're exploring, it is tracking the Earth's magnetic field as you are going about your day. And so they are creating models of that. They also have, you can earn badges so that's your reward for participating in the program is you can earn badges. So you'll be, touted online for all of the data that you can submit. It is really neat, and they use this in making, how did they explain it? How to make, it's for GPS data is what they use it for. So this data is not shared anywhere. It is private since it is GPS data. But it's a really cool video. And the only problem is, and this is the problem that I've discovered, is that it eats up your battery. So if you're going to be out all day and you don't have an opportunity to charge throughout the day and you're using this app, it will be dead by the end of the day. So just be aware of that little, in the name of science. But still, if you're going to be out and about and you need to reach somebody, we want to make sure that you still have plenty of phone power. So this one is the called the NOAA M-Ping, and the M-Ping stands for Meteorological Phenomena Identification Near the Ground. So all of that is M-Ping. And what you are seeing right here live is the weather that is happening right now in the United States. So you can see up here in the Northeast that it is raining. Let's see, the brown dots mean people are reporting that nothing is happening. So nothing happening in the state of Texas. It's sunny and hot. Raining down here near the Keys. The green dots are, it's drizzling. So it's raining and drizzling. In the winter, when we were going through Snowmageddon, there was all kinds of data that people were submitting. This is great in times of disaster because you can submit whether homes or buildings are filling with water, if it's a flood situation, or if vehicles, homes, buildings have been swept away. So that helps with disaster response. And again, this is a machine learning process because the satellites can't see what's happening below the ground cover. I mean, the cloud cover. So you can do mudslides, dense fog, if it's blowing sand, all of these different options that you can report on. If the power is down, if tree limbs are broken, and that helps them to determine the ferocity, how furious, how bad, how terrible a storm has been that has come through the area. So that one's neat because you can see what they're happening right now, this very second. Now, Earth Challenge is, it's also an app that has 4 different elements to it. It launched last year on Earth Day as part of the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. And all of this data, well, the bee population is the only one that I've been able to find for the research, but they say that the others are going to be available at a site called Citizen Science Cloud. So this one, you can track where plastic pollution is. You can track air quality, the bee population, pollinators, and the food supply. So this one you can track what you see in the environment. Of course, part of that is, most people do this as they're doing a cleanup, and then they can track what they see. This map that's part of this project that is generated from all of this data doesn't look like much until you zoom in. And each of these blue dots is a litter cleanup. So you can click on these dots and it tells you that they were in Morocco and they were in the area of Kenitra, I'm going to say. They were on a beach doing a cleanup, one person. They did it in 2018. And then what did they pick up? So you can see all of these different things are in the app that you can select what you're picking up. And then they can determine what the top 10 debris is for each country. So in French Polynesia, most of the litter, the plastic pollution is plastic bags. So a lollipop stick, I was not expecting that to be so popular or such a problem. So yeah, you are welcome. I will send you the link to this and just go around and it's just really, really interesting data. And it's also helping to track how these things are entering the ocean. So it's really, really important. The air quality, all you're doing is taking a picture of the air quality where you are at the moment. I don't know if you guys noticed on your drive-in this morning how awful the air quality was today or is today. I think today's an orange ozone alert day, and it was just really, really gross. It was a kind of like this picture here. So if you can get up onto an overpass, I know when I was at the Mountain View campus, I would get off Loop 12 and onto Illinois, and I would pull into this church and look back over north of where I was to get pictures because I was right at that level where I could see that gunky grayish line just over and then blue sky above it. It was really, really gross. It was very similar to this. So that's a really neat opportunity. And I hate the fact that we have so many opportunities in Dallas to contribute to that, but we do because we are still in a non-attainment air quality zone. But that's easy. Take a picture, submit it. That one's easy. The bee population. This is actually a dashboard that they created from the data that has been submitted. So I provide you with a link for this. So it is continuously updating. It's showing what kinds of bees, what variety, where they are, where the latest photo was taken, how many entries. It's really, really a lot of fun to look at that and just monitor that. So you can report an insect, add a photo, and then you can learn and you'll be able to submit. You'll learn what kind of varieties of bees that there are. And the food supply, this one's really kind of interesting. This one is actually a two-part app. So you're downloading the Earth Challenge app and you're going to the food supply section. And then you also download another app called Picture Pile. And what it's doing, it is showing you pictures of crops in the area, crops all over the world. And you are selecting what kind of crop that is. So you're looking, your choices are, it's maize, corn, sunflowers, rice, wheat, sorghum, or soybean. And then you can also say, I just don't know. And it'll just keep submitting, it'll keep putting pictures in front of you and you determine what kind of crop that is. And it is also machine learning. So, but it's actually two separate apps. The debris tracker is it's also a litter plastic pollution tracking app. It is a little bit more robust. It's more comprehensive and in depth than some of the others. I have not used this one, but I understand from people I've spoken with that it is very, very, very simple to use. And of course, I'm going to share that video with you. So this is by National Geographic, and they are tracking how the litter that is blowing out of landfills, out of trash cans, people dropping on the roadways, papers blowing out of recycling bins. How is that debris? What kind of debris are we dealing with? And how is it getting to the oceans? And how is it affecting the urban wildlife? So all very, very important research. And this one's cool. This one's about light pollution. So you can use your phone at night by looking at certain constellations depending on a certain window in time, and if you are in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere. So right now, they're not doing anything, but from June 30th to June 9th in the northern hemisphere, if you look for Hercules and you take a picture of it and submit it through the app, their machine learning can determine how much light pollution there is wherever it is that you are taking that photo. So there are, it's you can then zoom into this map and you can see how bad the light pollution is in different areas. So these are, that is not Uruguay. That's really funny. So you can see these are where all of these have been submitted in the 2021. And then you can go back and look and you can see the change in the light pollution as the urban areas grow. You can see that change over time. So really, really neat video to watch. And then you can share all that, like I said, that data that you can look at, you can download it in all kinds of different formats if you want to use that for some kind of research. So, so all of those things those are things that you do while you are outside. So what about if you have small children, if it's bad weather, if we are under a pandemic and we have to stay home? There are a couple of really neat things that you can do from your home. And this is one that is really very, very new. And it is called NemoNet, where you are mapping coral reefs. So what they've done is they've turned it into a video game. They've gamified this research. So they are showing you images that are embedded within this animated world, and you determine whether or not that is coral. And then you say yes or no, or you circle where the coral is, and you submit that. You are training a satellite to recognize coral underwater. So it is a lot of fun. It is very easy to use. Just recently, it is now available. Back when I did this a year ago, it was only for Macs and iOS, for iPhones. It is now available on Mac, Android, and Windows. So you could do it on your phone, on your tablet, or on your desktop computer. So this is what it looks like. So if they gamified what it looks like, and then this is a real image that they've embedded in there, and then you're going to circle what parts of that are the coral. And then just as Dr. Sylvia Earle is a very, very famous, globally recognized oceanographer, and she just has a really neat address to why this is important. But the really cool thing is that on April 13th in the Guardian newspaper, the lead scientist on this project said that because of this app, they were so much further along in their research than they ever thought that they would be. And that it was because of citizen science that the data they were getting was so well done, and there was so much of it. And he was really, really pleased. He was shocked. And he said it was all because of the citizen science aspect of that data gathering process. This is one I found just a few weeks ago. So it's new to me. It's not new, but it's new to me. So from your home, you can look for brown dwarf stars and new planets. So I've not had an opportunity to play with it yet, but it's called backyardworlds.org. There's a video to teach you how to get involved. But again, it is machine learning. We're training machines to recognize these things as they search satellite images. And then this is the one that we will be talking about on July the 6th, about humanitarian mapping. So this is something that it goes on all year round to help identify roads, hospitals, clinics, places where crops are failing and they may need to get aid to a community that is experiencing hunger because a crop has failed or a natural disaster has happened. And it also, people come together all over the world whenever there is a natural disaster and they need to get aid to the area quickly. Volunteers using this GIS software called OpenStreetMaps, they contribute to that rescue effort from all over the world. So they'll just, as soon as something horrible happens, and it's happening, it happens all the time, whether it's a mudslide, a volcano, a hurricane, a typhoon, a massive drought, anything that can be catastrophic, an earthquake, and they need to get aid in to help people and then get people out into shelter. You can contribute to this. There are mapathons where I've been part of these where people come together at a certain time on a certain day, and they'll just put out a call and say, okay, mapathon, you can join from anybody from anywhere in the world. We're going to be online all together working on this same project on, May 15th from noon to midnight. And so you can jump on at any time and help finish a project or help contribute to any kind of aid relief. So that's what we're going to be talking about on July the 6th. And I'm really excited about the opportunity to show you how this works and how powerful it really is. Some of the projects that, this is what was going on when I built this back in, I think I added this part probably in September of last year. So at that time, we were undergoing, the Philippines was experiencing food insecurity. In Mali, they needed a specific area mapped for, they needed roads, water, and land use mapped to help with the COVID-19 response. There was a landslide risk in Uganda that you could help with if you needed to get people, identify roads to get people out, to evacuate people. And then also they were looking at buildings in Indonesia to look at future impacts from hurricanes. So just a lot of really, really neat things. And it's anywhere from beginner, all the way up to expert. So anybody can contribute to this. And I really recommend that you do that, that you get involved. And I have the links in that Word document that you can learn how you can be involved. But we'll actually go through the process in July. So the registration information is now, I think it's coming up on our website, on the sustainability website next week. So you should be able to register for that next week. So guys, that's just a few of the options that are available. There are other sites that you can go to where if I haven't found something that lights your fire, there is something out there for you, I promise. So if you go to citizenscience.gov, this is a federal crowdsourcing citizen science catalog, you can do a landslide reporter, look at smoke by the EPA. So they will be using that data specifically when there's wildfires, which are beginning to happen in the Western United States. What is your water level? Right now, Lake Mead, which is what the Colorado River flows into, and the Hoover Dam, it is only at 37%. It's the lowest level it has ever been since that reservoir was created. So if I know our water levels are really high because of all the rain we've had lately, but they're not going to stay that way. We may not see rain again until September. So you can let NOAA know what is the water level in the lakes and streams around you, or you can contribute to the backyard bird count. There's citizenscience.org. I am part of this organization. I'm a member of the Education Working Group, and it is really, really interesting. I've gotten hooked to some really neat projects by being part of this organization. We just had our virtual conference in May. So if you're interested in knowing more about this organization, reach out to me and I'm happy to share whatever I know about it. But I really, really, if you want to get more involved, it's a great organization to be involved with. There is SciStarter that has more than 3,000 projects. They are also involved in the Citizen Science Association. And then there's also NASA Science. I just found out about that at that conference, that they have their own citizen science platform. And then Zooniverse has more than 50 active online citizen science projects. So there is something out there for you to be involved in, or to get your students involved in, or your kids, or your nieces and nephews, your church group, your scouting group. And the age does not matter. It has no bearing on it whatsoever. Anybody can do these. And I really, really recommend, or I encourage you to do this, because it's really kind of cool to be involved. So if you wouldn't mind, I have you're going to be asked to do a survey when we close out this this presentation, but this is my own personal. So if you wouldn't mind taking a picture of that QR code and just answering a few questions, I would really appreciate it, because I do use your information to improve. I do webinars at least 2 a week, so I really do use that information to improve my presentations. So you're welcome to contact me. This is my email. I'm going to put it in the chat. So I'm going to move away from my camera just for a second. And there is my email address. So we have some time. I hope it wasn't going too quickly. I hope everybody was able to hear me the entire time and see all the cool things that I was showing off, all the neat technology. So now I want to ask you, who has questions about any of that? You know, I'm kind of a fire hose, throwing information at you. Throw some questions my way so that I can help you get more involved. So if you wouldn't mind putting those into the Q&A. Let's see. So, Sonia, did you have any questions come through?
No, no questions at this time.
But I've had fun. I hope you've had fun. And please note my email address. Reach out to me at any time.
So thank you for coming, joining us, and supporting us.